The Broncos have the best chance to win the Super Bowl this season at 17.4%, with the defending Super Bowl champion Seahawks coming in distant second at 10.8%. Wow. The Saints, the Patriots, and the Bengals round out the top five. Do you agree with this, Skip? I don't even know why we're even asking this question.
Wait a second here.
Yeah, pull it out. Take a look at it.
Did you just say that off this projection that the Denver Broncos are prohibitive favorites to win this year's Super Bowl? Not 5 years out Super Bowl. We're talking about this year, right?
Yeah, that according to number.
And I know we're not talking about last year's Super Bowl.
No, because they lost.
Thank you.
What was the score?
I forget. What was the score of last year's Super Bowl?
It was
43-8. Was that
like
it?
that.
Something like that.
As the Patriots watch from home.
Okay, they did watch from home.
Okay.
But that's not the issue here, because Denver, by many calculations, has become a runaway favorite, and I'm saying the world has gone mad.
Why?
Because I can't even begin to explain how you can say the Denver Broncos should be favored to win the Super Bowl. I'm not even going to bring the Patriots into this.
Don't.
Over the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks. Maybe over the Sounders?
No,
the Seattle Sounders? The Seahawks.
Yes.
Wait a second. The last time I checked, Denver was not in Seattle's league.
Yeah.
I will give you this.
I would agree with that, Skip.
Okay, not in their league. I will give you that Seattle's defense might not quite be as dominant as it was a year ago, having lost Red Bryant, Chris Clemons off the edges as sort of team leaders and pass rushers. Maybe they won't be quite. Although I could argue that the back end will just keep getting a little bit better because they'll be even a little more experienced this year.
Plus, we're going to see how they're going to call it now. We're going to
that could be a whole other issue. But Percy Harvin is extremely healthy as we speak. And his quarterback, Russell Wilson, just had one of the all-time great preseasons I can ever remember.
Yeah.
I'm looking at his numbers, 33 for 42, including 3 for 3 last night. I watched the opening drive at Oakland. I get it's against Oakland's backup. It's the Raiders, the worst team in the league. But he just went boom, 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 touchdown. So he's 33 for 42. That's almost 80% of his passes he completed. 3 touchdowns, 0 picks, and he ran 9 times for 61 yards and 3 touchdowns. Russell Wilson is operating almost at a Peyton level, albeit in the preseason, but I think he's only going to get a whole leap better than he was the last 2 years. So their offense, obviously Marshawn's still there. I don't think they're missing Golden Tate one beat here because they got Jermaine Kearse, and they got Doug Baldwin, and they got little Percy Harvin just killing people.
Yes.
So I'm saying their offense is going to be better even if their defense isn't quite as dominant. So now I look at the Denver Broncos and I say, what are you telling me? Is it just strength of schedule we're doing here because the Denver schedule is quote-unquote weaker?
Well, you know, the Denver Broncos, they play the entire NFC West.
Okay.
So they got Seattle, they got the 49ers, they got the Rams and the Cardinals.
So to your point, I'm looking at Denver's easy schedule here. And I'm saying you have to go to Seattle. You have to go to, who's that team up in Foxborough? You have to play in Foxborough. At New England. What happened there last year? Okay. All right. They have to go to New England.
They lost.
They have to go to Cincinnati. They do have
Cincinnati?
Yeah. You don't think that's going to be a close game at the very least? Are you predicting Denver will easily win in Cincinnati? Is that what you're saying? Because I'm not predicting that.
Go ahead and make your point.
Okay. Then they do have to go to St. Louis. They can probably win that game with no Sam Bradford. But, okay, you do have to play San Diego twice. And San Diego kind of had their number last year. I'm assuming they'll San Diego
even though they lost 2 out of 3 times, they had their number.
Okay, but they did. They played pretty well. They do have to go to Kansas City as a division rival, and they won there last year. But, again, is that a losable game? Yes. And then Arizona and San Francisco, to me, have been playing very well in the last couple of years on the road because Arizona late in the year went to Seattle and won a game I didn't think they could win. So my point is that what we call an easy ride? I don't think it is.
No.
So are they just going to cakewalk through the AFC into the Super Bowl? I don't think so. I just personally...
I don't think so either, Skip. And I think the Seattle Seahawks should be the favorite to repeat.
Thank you.
Because I think their offense is very good defensively. They got the best defense in football. But I think what the experts are, the pundits or whatever you want to call them, are factoring in, they get a Ryan Clady back, they get Von Miller back, they get Kip Vickerson back, they get Raheem Moore back. Plus the addition of DeMarcus Ware, T.J. Ward, and Aqib Talib. So the defense is going to be, that was their problem last year, Skip. They couldn't stop anybody.
Okay.
Peyton Manning had to be MVP Peyton Manning every game or they lose. You can't play like that. A guy can't be on 19 times a year.
Do you expect him to be the MVP this year?
Yeah, I don't really see why he's not.
Well, I agree. I've already said it.
You might, but voters might get Peyton fatigue. I mean, you think about he's won 5.
Maybe.
He finished, second to Adrian Peterson the other year, so it could have easily been 6. I agree, Skip. I think the Seahawks should be the favorite, but the Denver Broncos, they've made in the AFC, they've upgraded the most while losing the least. So with that being said, you keep talking about they go to Foxborough.
Is that going to matter?
No. They're going to get them. They're going to beat the Patriots this year in Foxborough.
They are. You're on the record.
Yeah.
I'm on the record.
You know what? This will be an easy game for the home team. But last year wasn't an easy game because you remember the first half.
It was a disaster.
The last 2 AFC Championship games in which Peyton Manning is head-to-head with Tom Brady, what has happened?
I forget.
No, you don't.
We're not talking about the AFC Championship. We're talking about next year's regular season game at Foxborough.
But he wants to let you know that he thinks that the Patriots are better. That's what you're getting at.
All right.
Or not
now,
better.
People keep telling me DeMarcus Ware is going to change the way Denver plays defense.
Yes.
Just help me out here because I am a Cowboy fan and I'm a DeMarcus Ware fan.
Yeah.
I know, Skip.
So
last year, not showed up in the biggest
last year on a Sunday night at New Orleans. Do you remember this game?
Oh, boy.
DeMarcus Ware played 49 snaps in a game in which the Dallas Cowboys gave up 49 points and an NFL record 40 first downs. How big a difference did he make on that night in that game? None. I wasn't even aware that he played 49 snaps in that game because it was the biggest embarrassment to me as a Cowboy fan in my history of watching the Dallas Cowboys since I'm whatever I was in 1961, however old I was.
We'll put it like this: you weren't 5.
I was 18 that year.
10 years ago.
Yeah. So the point is that is he really that guy anymore? I think people are overrating what DeMarcus Ware is. People are overrating what Aqib Talib is not because there are too many times Aqib Talib, you say he's such a gifted, he's a gifted player, and maybe in some routine game against the Oakland Raiders, he might pick off a couple of passes. And then all of a sudden you're playing San Diego at home and you're in trouble, and he's on the sideline because he's hurt.
But I love how you say injuries with Aqib Talib, but you don't factor in the injuries with Rob Gronkowski. I mean, you make it seem like he plays 16 games every year. I
haven't been making a case for New England in this whole conversation. I'm talking about New England. I'm talking about Denver versus Seattle for who's going to win the Super Bowl.
But before that happens, they have to win the AFC. You always talk about the New England Patriots and Tom Brady. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, they're the best tandem. They're this and that. All I know is when everybody shoved their chips to the middle of the table for a chance to go to New York and play in the Super Bowl, Peyton Manning and John Fox raked all the chips to their side.
Okay. So who did not have Rob Gronkowski at the end of the year last year?
The Patriots.
Patriots did not have him.
They didn't have him at the start of the year either.
How far did they get last year?
AFC Championship game.
Thank you. So without Rob Gronkowski, they got all the way to Denver and the AFC Championship game and had a decent chance to win that game without him.
And the Broncos, without Ryan Clady, Von Miller, Kip Vickerson, Raheem Moore, got all the way to New York.
And then what happened?
Skip, you
43 to 8 happened.
You can't have it both ways.
I can't have it. We're only talking about Denver being prohibitively favored over Seattle. How do you explain that? You couldn't explain it, and you said it's wrong.
I'm saying
that's my only argument here. I don't want to talk about New England.
But you always bring it to the equation.
I'm giving you this. Let's just presume, just hypothetically, that they get to the Super Bowl. Then you're going to tell me that the Denver Broncos, with all their upgrades, will then be favored over Seattle to win the next Super Bowl?
I believe they will. I believe they will.
You believe they will?
You think you seriously think they'll be the Seahawks?
Yes.
Did I just back you into a corner?
No, you didn't back me into a corner. Skip, it's the preseason. Can I see a game? Can I see him play one regular season? Because injuries factor in everything. Peyton Manning or Demaryius Thomas, or the same thing with Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch. That changes the whole dynamic.
Yes,
okay. What if? Okay, I'm not presuming that Rob Gronkowski is going to be healthy for my New England Patriots. Are you presuming that Wes Welker is going to be able to play every year for your Denver Broncos?
I believe that Broncos can sustain a healthy offense without Wes Welker more so than the Patriots can without Rob Gronkowski.
I totally disagree with that. Tom Brady should have been the MVP last year. That's how good he was with
He
nothing.
threw 30 less
With
touchdowns.
nothing. I know, but he's
What he
throwing
had to
to
work with
Julian
is what he's trying to
Edelman and
say.
Danny Amendola. Are you kidding me?
That's not how the MVP works, Skip.
Okay, but I'm just saying what he did to get that team to the AFC Championship
He
game
threw
was
30 less-
phenomenal.
he threw 30
I don't
less
care.
touchdowns.
Okay.
He got them there with nobody.
Gentlemen, this
if you
is the
put
case
Peyton up there, do you think he'd
of
throw
both of you
30
guys
less
loving
touchdowns?
too hard. You're loving too hard.
No,
You're just
no, but
spewing
see,
orange.
he
You're
picks
bleeding
like-
orange.
As are you with your Patriots.
No, I'm not.
He picks any team that plays the Broncos. It can be the Jacksonville. Blake Bortles will beat Peyton Manning.
Is that true?
In 2011, that was not the case. Do you remember what happened in 2011? Who was the biggest Denver Bronco fan in the world that year?
What happened?
It was him. He was trying to say.
Oh, because of team.
Oh, yeah.
Man,
yeah,
stop
yeah.
it. Skip, stop.
You know,
Well, you said I hate the Denver Broncos. I didn't hate
No,
them.
you like a particular player that happened to be on the Broncos, so you had to root for the Broncos.
I did.
You didn't like the Broncos per
I did
se.
not like the Broncos per se.
All right, per se, we get it. Skip doesn't like the Broncos.
This
Just
man,
down.
this
You have
man
an
here.
orange T-shirt on.
He does have one of
No.
and
Yes, you
pom-poms
do.
underneath with your Patriots. Tony